The royal family has long stood as the enduring symbol of British tradition and morality, a living embodiment of the values and customs that have shaped the nation for centuries. Their presence, whether in times of celebration or crisis, has offered a sense of continuity and stability, a reassuring thread woven through the fabric of British life. For generations, they have been a constant presence in our national story, appearing on our coins, in our history books, and in the collective imagination of the public. Their ceremonies and rituals, watched by millions, have marked the passage of time and the evolution of the nation itself. But what happens when that carefully crafted story begins to unravel? When the image of unity and virtue is shattered by controversy and contradiction? What are we to make of a royal family whose key players sometimes act in ways that starkly contradict the values they claim to uphold? When personal choices and public actions collide, the gap between image and reality becomes impossible to ignore. In recent years, a glaring inconsistency has emerged. A tale of two brothers, William and Harry, whose divergent paths have exposed deep hypocrisy at the heart of the institution. Their relationship, once a symbol of hope and unity, now reflects the fractures within the royal family itself. On one side, we see public warmth and a quiet, almost unspoken rehabilitation for a prince mired in scandal, whose actions have raised serious questions, but who remains shielded by the institution. On the other, relentless criticism and effective exile for a prince and his wife who simply asked for something different, a chance to step back, to redefine their roles, and to seek a life outside the royal spotlight. The royal family's treatment of Andrew versus Harry and Meghan reveals a system that punishes those who challenge its authority, while sheltering those who remain useful to the established order. It's a stark reminder that tradition can sometimes serve to protect power, rather than justice or fairness. The story we were sold, a family above reproach, united in service, is not the one being played out before our eyes. Instead, we are witnessing a new chapter, one that forces us to question what the monarchy truly stands for in the modern age. In 2023, a single photograph taken at Balmoral Castle captured a moment that spoke volumes about the state of the British royal family. The image showed Prince Andrew, who had been disgraced and stripped of his royal titles following a highly publicised scandal, riding to church alongside Prince William and Kate Middleton. This was not a casual or spontaneous occurrence. Every royal appearance is carefully orchestrated, with each detail meticulously planned to send a specific message to the public and the press. By allowing Andrew to be seen in such close company with the future king and queen, the royal family was making a deliberate statement. Despite his fall from grace, Andrew remained part of the inner circle, shielded and protected by the monarchy's most prominent figures. For many observers, both in Britain and around the world, this was deeply troubling. The public's reaction ranged from confusion to outrage as people questioned the values and priorities of the royal institution. After all, Andrew's scandal involved serious allegations of sexual misconduct and resulted in a costly legal settlement, casting a long shadow over the family's reputation. Yet, instead of distancing themselves, the family closed ranks, demonstrating a united front and protecting one of their own, regardless of the damage to their public image. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex, who had chosen to step back from royal duties and speak openly about their struggles, found themselves systematically frozen out. Their pursuit of independence and honesty was met with cold shoulders and exclusion. The contrast could not have been more stark. Andrew, whose actions brought genuine disrepute to the monarchy, was welcomed back into the fold, while Harry and Meghan, who sought reform and transparency, were pushed aside. In the royal calculus, it seems that loyalty to the institution, even from a disgraced member, outweighs honesty, accountability, or the desire for meaningful change. The hypocrisy at the heart of the royal family's actions could not be clearer, leaving many to wonder what the monarchy truly stands for in the modern age. The public forgiveness extended to Andrew was about more than just family unity. It was also about Royal Lodge itself, a symbol of royal privilege. Andrew's refusal to leave the Grand Mansion created ongoing tension with King Charles, who wanted him to downsize. William and Kate, eyeing Royal Lodge for their growing family, saw a unique opportunity. Their public support for Andrew was a strategic move, smoothing the path for their own ambitions and future plans. By offering him rehabilitation, they hoped to secure the home they truly desired. This was not about morality. It was a classic palace power play, pure and simple. Personal ambition and status, not high principles, ultimately drove the alliance. The gentle handling of Andrew is shocking when compared to the relentless campaign against Harry and Meghan. Their crimes were communication and independence, launching a website, seeking financial freedom, speaking out. For this, they were demonized, while Andrew's far more serious actions were quietly contained. The palace spun a narrative of betrayal for Harry and Meghan, while shielding Andrew from sustained scrutiny. The system punishes not based on morality, but on the threat to its power. Harry and Meghan's real sin was exposing the institution's flaws. Andrew embarrassed the monarchy. They challenged it. Embarrassment is forgivable, dissent is not. Protecting Andrew was about damage control. Attacking the Sussexes was about maintaining control. The difference in treatment was no accident. It was a deliberate and calculated PR strategy. The palace press office, highly skilled in shaping public opinion, weaponized the media against Meghan and Harry. Negative stories, often petty and targeted, painted Meghan as an outsider to the royal family. This death by 1,000 cuts was devastatingly effective, creating a feedback loop of negative press and public sentiment. Meanwhile, the palace protected Andrew with silence and deflection. No leaks, no character attacks at all. The same machine that discredited Meghan also shielded Andrew. The goal was not to inform, but to manipulate public perception for institutional benefit and control. The hypocrisy was by design. The palace's PR strategy relied on a willing partner, the British tabloid press. The media amplified the palace's agenda, vilifying Meghan for trivialities while affording Andrew deference. Meghan was scrutinized for everything, from avocados to wardrobe costs, building a negative caricature. Andrew's coverage, after the initial scandal, became muted, focused on the monarchy's image, not his actions. The press did not dig into his past as they did with Meghan. This complicity created a distorted reality, distracting the public from Andrew's scandal. Outrage was directed at Harry and Meghan, while Andrew faded into the background. The media helped the palace manage its crisis, not report the truth. Strip away the pomp and pageantry, and the royal family's actions reveal a cold, calculated truth that often goes unseen by the public eye. Beneath the glittering crowns and ceremonial processions lies a world driven not by principle, but by self-preservation and strategic maneuvering. Protecting Andrew was never about upholding morality or setting an example for the nation. It was always about convenience, about shielding the institution from scandal and preserving the delicate balance of power that keeps the monarchy intact. For William and Kate, their involvement was less about family loyalty and more about a calculated move for Royal Lodge, a coveted residence. Their relationship with Andrew became transactional, a chess game where every move was weighed for its long-term benefit. Andrew, despite his public disgrace and the damage to the family's reputation, remained a useful piece in their broader strategy. His presence, though problematic, could be leveraged for future plans and internal negotiations. For the institution itself, Andrew was never an ideological threat. He was simply a liability to be managed, a problem to be contained rather than confronted. The palace machinery worked tirelessly to keep the issue under wraps, prioritizing stability over transparency. In the end, keeping him inside the fold, under watchful eyes and behind closed doors, was far easier than risking the unpredictable consequences of casting him out. The royal family chose containment over confrontation. In stark contrast, Harry and Meghan posed a different kind of threat, one that struck at the very heart of the monarchy. By openly questioning its values and challenging its traditions, they threatened the system itself, not just its image. Their punishment was swift and severe, designed not just to reprimand, but to silence dissent and maintain the carefully crafted facade of unity that the monarchy depends on for its survival. Their exile was not a response to their actions alone, but to the uncomfortable truths they dared to voice. The message was clear: critique from within would not be tolerated. The unspoken rule remains: within the royal family, you are either with us, playing your part in the grand performance, or you are against us, cast out to protect the institution at all costs. In the end, Harry and Meghan were not exiled for betrayal, but for exposing the family's hypocrisy. Their real crime was telling the world why they had to leave. They revealed double standards, strategic cruelty, and a carefully constructed public image. True leadership is about honesty and change, not cover-ups and smear campaigns. A healthy institution can withstand criticism, a fragile one lashes out. Harry and Meghan chose integrity and self-preservation over illusion. By leaving, they showed the world the gap between the monarchy's fairy tale and its reality. The palace's attacks only proved their point, laying the hypocrisy bare. The betrayal was not theirs. It was the system that made their departure inevitable.
To all my amazing and curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye. See you in our next episode. Bye.